everybody, Joe Diesel here. Welcome back to the Half Hour Power. I think somebody is here that we haven't heard from in a while. You there?
This is Jesse.
Hey,
I'm here.
You got out of that predicament.
I have no idea what you're talking about, sir.
Oh, you don't remember that?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
We were doing the Second Elm Street show not even an hour ago. You don't remember calling into that?
You will leave that in the past where it belongs, sir.
I see. It's a bad memory.
You just leave it in the past where it belongs.
Okay. We'll do that. So, so you worked at the haunted house again, the haunted attraction again, this Halloween season. So why don't you tell us a little bit about that? How was it this year? Was it better? Did you like it better this year? Was it the same? Was it worse?
It was the same action-wise, just run around, scare people. The difference this year is I wore a mask. Last year I just did makeup, and the mask was stifling. I have dreams still about it where I see what I saw through the mask, which is barely anything at all. But on the high point, I scared a guy, and he went back to punch me, and he elbowed his girlfriend in the face, and that moment was priceless. Priceless.
So he elbowed his girlfriend in the face.
Yeah. And, of course, she started cursing at him and everything like that, but it was a beautiful thing, Joe. It's just a beautiful thing.
Well, that's wonderful. So did you wore a mask this year? Why was that? Did you get a choice this year and you just wanted to use a mask, or why was that?
No, they wanted what they would call key areas for people to have a mask on. Most importantly, because they spend a lot of money on those masks. I won't go into how much they cost or anything like that, just for, that's their business, not really mine, but it was quite a sum, so they wanted them to be seen, which I don't blame them for. I can't hold that against them.
Yeah. So they bought masks, and what did you wear them?
Yeah, basically that. It saves them some time on getting their actors prepared, because putting on a mask takes on a minute. But I do prefer the makeup. The makeup, I think, is better. Gives you a lot more chance to, I guess, the word would be to emote.
Oh, you need to emote.
Yeah. I'm going to get all actory on you. I wanted to emote more, my eyes are the keys to my soul, and all that jazz. But, yeah, it was still a good year. I enjoyed myself. It was fun. Got to hang out with some friends and everything like that, so it was good. It was good. Like I said, the only thing is that I would rather have done makeup instead of wearing a mask.
So did you have to wear a mask the whole time, or was there ever a point where you're like, gee, I'm going to wear makeup tonight. I'm going to come in early and do it myself?
I would never do it myself. Let me say that right now. But a good friend of ours worked there with us who's a makeup artist, and one night we did do makeup just because they said that was cool. Go ahead, it's fine. So I was quite happy about that.
That's good. That sounds good. So do you think you'd do this again next year?
I don't want to say yes or no, but there's a lot of stuff I'd like to see. Because every year they do it, there's some cool thing that happens. I'm like, well, I could have saw that if I wasn't, doing this. So it's a wait and see for me. It always is. I mean, I'd rather not be covered with bruises at the end of every year like I usually am, but...
Bruises?
Oh, yeah, I keep running into stuff. Like I said, I was blind in that mask.
These bruises are not from people hitting you.
No, they're from me running into stuff. Like I said, I couldn't see in that mask at all, so, yeah, I bumped into a lot of crap.
So, I know you were talking about some kind of a touch haunt. What is that?
Touch haunt is where the actors are allowed to touch you. The haunt itself is called hooded, and the customer puts on a hood, and they cannot see anything at all. And they're basically led through a haunted house by an actor who is allowed to touch you, basically yell at you. So it's a sound and touch haunt. There is no sight. Yeah.
Well, it's just completely dark in there?
Yeah. I mean, it could be. The customer would never know because the customer is always in a state of, they can't see at all. So, I mean, I don't know. I didn't go through it. I'll be honest with you, being touched isn't my cup of tea. So, I didn't even go in there and look at it because it had no interest for me.
Oh, you didn't even watch people go through or anything?
No. I know. Like I said, I don't have the biggest problem with it, but I'm not comfortable with people touching me who I don't know.
Oh, so what about the customers that came through it? Did you hear any talk from them about it? Did they like it? Was it scary? Was it nothing? Blah?
I really didn't talk to a lot of customers about it. Nuvo did a review for it, and they weren't too impressed with it. They expected more. To me, sight is probably one of the more important keys to a good scare. Honestly, hearing people yell at me and touch me is more of a different kind of feeling. That just makes me uncomfortable. It does not make me. I don't have a fear factor about that at all, but I would be hugely uncomfortable, and I don't want to pay to be uncomfortable. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I wouldn't do it.
You wouldn't go through it.
Although I do understand it's very popular in England.
In England?
Yeah, that's where they got the idol from, is from England, and I understand it's very popular there.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow. All right.
Yeah. That's exactly what I thought. I'm like, well, let them have at it then.
Yeah, let them have it. I don't know if I'd want to go through a haunt like that either.
Yeah. I mean, part of the joy of it for me, and I highly suspected of you too, is that with us being so interested in the visual state of things, like with film, that we want to see everything. We want to see the creativity that goes into those places.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, it's one of the things I like to do also when I go to haunted houses, haunted attractions, is see the sculpts and stuff like that. So, so we're also going to talk a little bit about some of our favorite haunted house movies, but since Halloween is just passed and you work at a haunted attraction, let me ask this. Have you ever been to any house that is said to really be haunted?
Inside?
Yeah, inside or any building. Have you been inside any building or anything like that? But let's just stick to houses. I mean,
I've been inside of the Hannah house, which is actually nearby where I lay my head. So I've been in there. I used to live in Irvington, which is supposed to be hugely haunted, according to the a lot of people who live there, but I will say that I was outside of the D.C. Stevenson house, which a lot of people don't know. D.C. Stevenson is one of the founders of the Indiana chapter of the Ku Klux Klan. He was actually very close to being president of the United States. He had a murderous night with a young woman who died and is said to haunt the house where she died in, which would be the Stevenson house, or where she was gravely wounded. She actually died in her own house, which is down the street, but that house, I'd never been in it, but just sitting outside of that, you get a bad vibe from it altogether.
So are you still talking about the Stevenson mansion? Yeah, and you told me that you lived down the street from that. Like, yeah, I'd like to go see that. We went down there at night. I mean, well into the night.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember that. And it's I don't know if it's just my mind messing with me on that stuff, or if it really was something. I've never seen anything. I've gone past there a lot. I've never been in a house that I know of that's been haunted. I've never been in a house. But yeah, standing outside of that house, the Stevenson mansion, I do get some kind of a weird feeling about it. Like I said, I don't know if it's my mind playing tricks on me, if my mind's saying this house, they say it's haunted, so I'm going to mess with you, or if there really is something. It's just one of those interesting things to me about that. But yeah, that whole area there is said to be haunted, so anybody around that area can go there and just go walk around and see some houses that are supposed to be haunted by real spirits.
Right. But I mean, with the Stevenson house, it just creeps you out. I mean, it gives you that really creepy feeling. It's like, oh, makes you almost feel dirty looking at it.
It really does. And before I went there, you guys told me the history of it and the story of that lady that was brutally attacked there. And I just wonder if I didn't know about that or any of the history, would I have gotten the same feeling? You know what I'm saying?
Right, yeah. That's one of the things I hate about those shows like Ghost Hunters and Ghost Adventures. Is that before they go in, they always ask the people, oh, so where are your hot spots at? You know, what have you seen here? What do you experience? It's like, you shouldn't ask them that. If you want to go in with a open mind, you shouldn't know anything about the house at all.
Yeah, just go in there, see if you can find the hot spot, and then ask them where the hot spot is. I have seen some of those shows where they'll take in some kind of a person who says they're a psychic, and they'll look around and go, yeah, this is here and this is there, and they haven't told the psychic anything, and at least, you know, in the Unsolved Mystery shows and the sighting shows, they'll do those. Sometimes the psychics are right on, sometimes they're not, so I don't know. I don't know if it's something of the mind playing tricks. I don't know, but it is a neat house. Go look at it.
Yeah.
It is creepy. And here we are at the break here, so let's see what's going on there. So, you live in a house where no one was murdered and nothing can haunt your house. Lame. Well, lucky for you, we are having a going out of business sale at Ghosts for You. We need to get these dead souls out of our doors before our warehouse closes and stays haunted forever. Poltergeists are now 75% off. Get them out of your house. Get them out of our house and into yours where they will make some noise. We have the spirits of murdered innocents. They are ready to spook up your humble abode. They're going fast, so order today. You don't like scary ghosts? Well, we got some friendly ones. They'll brighten up your house. Only $19.95. There is no reason to live in some lame-o, unhaunted house. We've got the right ghosts for you at Ghosts for You. Get down here before our doors close and trap these ghosts forever. If there's a house for you, then it's just the reason there's a ghost for you at your house. Ghosts for You. Don't let them get away. Warning. We at Ghosts for You are not responsible if the ghost you buy from us is actually a demon. There is no test for that. If you get a demon from us, you are on your own, and may God help you because we won't. All right, we're back here, just having a little fun here, talking about haunted attractions and couple of real haunted houses that we've been inside, maybe been outside staring at them. But let's talk a little bit about some haunted house movies or just some ghost movies. Don't necessarily have to be haunted house movies. I got a list here. I figured, why don't we just bring up what's one of your favorites, some of your favorites, first one to come to your mind. What do you got?
Well, the first one that always comes to my mind, the one that my favorite movie-wise is The Legend of Hell House by Richard Matheson. It's an old amateur film. Martin McDowell, so good in it. It's just a really great horror film.
Yeah, me too. But I think of that one, and I think of House on Haunted Hill with Vincent Price.
Right. The only problem with House on Haunted Hill is at the end of the movie, everything that they saw was an illusion created by Vincent Price. So the house is haunted still, because that guy who was there before, Elijah. Oh my God, what's his name? Elijah Cook was there when it was haunted, but everything those people experienced had nothing to do with the haunting. It was all Vincent Price trying to murder his wife, basically.
And that's a great one if you haven't seen that one. You should go back and check that one out.
And that's one of the remakes that it's not better than the original, but it's not a bad remake.
Yeah, it's okay.
It's okay.
Yeah, Jeffrey Rush did a great job in that role.
He was beautiful as Price, yes.
Oh, yeah. So, I got a list here, the scariest ghost movies. Let's just run down some of this and see if you've seen any of these or if we've seen any of them. The Sentinel, 1977. I've never seen this. Have you seen this?
I've seen that. That's the devil, the demons are taking over the house. Yeah, I've seen that one. It's got Chris Sarandon in it, and I can't remember the female actress who's in the movie, but it's not bad. It's not bad. Our good friend Dave Patrick loves that movie. He's the one who suggested it to me. So
you'd recommend that movie?
I'd give it a shot. It's an old 70s haunted house movie. There's usually nothing wrong with those.
Mm-hmm. What about, let's see, Burnt Offerings? I've never seen that one either.
I've not seen that one. Dan Curtis was very popular in the 70s for making TV horror movies. Trilogy of Terror, The Night Stalker, Dark Shadows. So, I mean, I want to give that a chance. Dan Curtis is pretty good with those.
Yeah, I would like to see that too. Let's see here. We got The Woman in Black is next. We talked about this a little bit on a previous show about Hammer movies. This is a Hammer film. The one starring Daniel Radcliffe. I've seen that. You've seen that. What's that?
I heard there's a BBC version, TV movie, which is infinitely better. So I wouldn't mind seeing that. I've never seen that.
Yeah, I'd like to check that out too. So here we talked about the remake, House on Haunted Hill. They're Lady in White.
I love that movie. Love it.
Yeah, I think that's a great movie, too. If you haven't seen The Lady in White, that's definitely worth trying out. What's that about, real quick, for anybody who hasn't seen that?
Yeah. Lady in White is about a horror writer who goes back to his hometown and reflects on his childhood where he was almost murdered by a serial killer, in his school's cloakroom. Before he's attacked, he sees a ghost of a girl one of the past victims of the serial killer. So he goes like trying to figure out who this serial killer is and who the girl was and all that. Good movie.
Yeah, it's well done.
Excellent. It's a very excellent movie.
So the next one on this list is The Haunted from 1991. It's a television movie. I saw this when it first aired, but I haven't seen it since. I don't remember if I liked it or not. Do you recognize that at all?
Who was in it? I've never seen it.
This Sally Kirkland's in it.
Oh, never seen it. Never seen it.
Yeah, so this is based on an Ed and Lorraine Warren case. So I guess this is just a little bit ahead of its time.
Yeah.
Since now these types of movies now are really popular and making good box office. So maybe this one was today would it be a theatrical release?
Yeah.
But not so much back in 1991. But let's see, House.
Good movie.
1986.
That's one of your fun haunted house movies, not one of your scary ones. That's a fun movie.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and it's William Catt is in that.
Mm-hmm. And Richard Bowl.
Yeah, and it's a great 80s horror movie. Horror comedy.
It's fun. It's very, very fun.
So yeah, I recommend that. We'll go Below. We've both seen Below. I thought that was great.
That was a great one. Very, very creepy.
Oh, yeah, the submarine. So here we go. I've never seen this one, The Eye. Have you seen this, The Eye?
I saw the original Pang Brothers movie. That's not, I mean, it's a lot like The Sixth Sense in a way, because it's about a girl who gets an eye transplant and starts being able to see dead people.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so this one on this list is the Hong Kong one.
Yeah.
So is that the one you were talking about? So would you recommend The Eye?
I'd say give it a watch. It's a good watch.
So the next one here is The Orphanage.
Great.
Have you seen The Orphanage?
Oh, that is utterly beautiful.
Yeah, that was great. I love that.
Yeah.
I'd definitely recommend that.
Yeah.
It's got some great visuals in it. Can you give a brief rundown of the plot?
A woman and her daughter move into an orphanage. What was it? Actually, it isn't an orphanage anymore, but it was an orphanage, and they're fixing it up, and they start to see the ghosts of past orphan kids.
Yeah.
Good movie. Fantastic.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. So the next one here is Candyman.
Now, is that a ghost movie?
I never really thought of that as a ghost movie, but I mean, he's kind of a ghost, but I mean, he's a spirit, he's something. I don't know, but I thought Candyman was great, based on the Clive Barker story. So, what do you think about Candyman?
I think that's one of the best movies to ever be made from any list, from any genre. That's a top 100 movie for me right there.
Yeah.
Bernard Rose, no one does Clive Barker better than Bernard Rose. That's all I'll say.
Yeah. Yeah. So here's 1408. I didn't like this 1408 that much. Did you see that?
I couldn't get into it. I tried watching it. It's one of those movies that has no subtlety to it. It's overblown.
Yeah. I'll skip a few of these here and go down to Stir of Echoes. Great
movie. Love Stir of Echoes.
Yeah, Stir of Echoes. That was great. Kevin Bacon.
It had it was highly unfortunate because it came out the same year as Sixth Sense.
Yes.
And everybody went to go see The Sixth Sense, and everybody skipped Stir of Echoes, and I think Stir of Echoes is the better movie.
Yeah, Throwback. That's excellent.
Yeah.
Of course, Poltergeist is on here. I don't know that we need to talk much about Poltergeist. I think we've all seen it. If you haven't seen it, you need to see it, I guess.
Yeah, not a fan of it.
They got The Conjuring on this list.
Good
That's very recent. Here's a British show. Here's The Haunting, 1963. That's pretty good.
That's a great movie, yeah. Very, very
now, the remake,
The
remake, not so much.
No. Don't go see it, no.
Yeah, well, go back to the original 63 version of that. And here's Mama. I haven't seen Mama. Have you seen that?
Mama. I need a little bit. Oh, yes. I have seen that. It's the one with the guy from Game of Thrones.
Yeah. I haven't seen
not
that.
Not bad movie. Not a
so
bad movie.
Here's a couple more. We are running out of time. We're just having so much fun talking about this. Time is going by fast. So The Shining, the Stanley Kubrick Shining,
perfect.
is on this list. Blair Witch Project's on this list.
Great.
Session 9. We've talked about Session 9 on here before.
Yeah. And every chance I get, I tell people
a few times. I think we've mentioned Session 9 a few times on this show.
Yeah. Fantastic. Go see
it. Well, they put Paranormal Activity on here as one you should see. I'd say skip all that, but,
Yeah.
Here's another one. I think this one's kind of overlooked. The Changeling. I just love The Changeling with George C. Scott. Have you seen that?
I have not seen that. I have not. I'll have to watch that one.
Yeah, I mean, that's 1980. It's about, it actually is about a changeling and the spirit of the boy that got changed out.
Yeah.
Is not happy about that. Here's one I've not seen, The Innocents from 1961. Have you seen that?
I've not seen that one either. That might be a good, that sounds like a good one. I think that's Robert Wise, isn't it?
I'm not sure, but that is the last one on this list. So there's quite a few good ones on this list, and some I've not seen that I want to see. So that's one of the fun things about these lists for me is, hey, here's one you haven't seen yet, so you need to see that.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Anything on there that you haven't seen piqued your interest?
Well, movie-wise, I love all ghost movies, but one of the best ghost stories I ever saw was an episode of Supernatural, which was something we were talking about earlier, where they go to the house that's supposed to be haunted, but they find out that all the stories about the house are made up by this team of ghost hunters. But so many people start believing it that it becomes real.
Oh, okay.
Do you remember that episode?
I don't right off the top of my head, but it
was the first time they faced the ghost chasers. Ghost chasers!
Okay.
Yeah. But I love that. I love that episode.
Yeah, and Supernatural has some great episodes in there like that. Yeah, so we had some fun talking here about haunted house movies. This wraps up our horror editions for, at least for the month of October, horror shows.
Yeah.
We will always talk about horror movies, but this month we got to talk about them all the time. So, now any final thoughts about working a haunted attraction this year and haunted house movies?
Well, I would say that if you're interested in working on a haunted house attraction, to go for it. Especially if you have some kind of weird phobia you need to work out about, like clowns or something like that. Nothing better than being a clown and scaring people to get over your phobias of being a clown. Being a phobia of clowns. Haunted house movies, always usually good for a... It's always a good time. But people, please, stop always asking, well, if the house is haunted, why doesn't they move out? If they moved out, there wouldn't be a movie. Okay? Just let it happen. Just let it go and enjoy.
Yeah. I have worked at haunted house a couple times before in my young days. It was quite fun. But yeah, haunted house movies, ghost movies are fun. check them out. And I don't know, maybe you should go to a house that's really haunted and see what you think. See if you feel anything different about it.
Yeah.
Or not. Maybe you won't feel anything. Maybe you'll just go, well, you're all crazy. It's nothing there. You're not going to know unless you go. So, all right. Well, we had a great time here on the Half Hour of Power, and we will see you next week.